So let us consider Geoffrey Chaucer's biography. Chaucer was born in England in 1343 and he died there in 1400. His father's life was quite weird as well. As he was a kid, his father was kidnapped by his aunt because she wanted him to marry her daughter, because she wanted to have a male heir, because Chaucer's family was a very wealthy middle-class family. Geoffrey's father himself was a wealthy middle-class man. He was in the wine business, while his mother was a very elegant lady, and she had very important friends close to the British royal family. Geoffrey studied law, and when he grew up, he started working as an accountant for a noblewoman. Then he got another job. He became a diplomat for the king. There's a reason why he got this job, because he had studied languages as well. He knew French, Latin and Italian. He was sent to France on a diplomatic mission because by the time he went to France, England and France had been fighting the 100 Years' War, and they wanted to put an end to this very long war. The pact was that the English king Richard I was to marry the French king's daughter. But while she was in France, she was taken as a prisoner, and the King of England, Edward III, had to pay a £16 ransom for his freedom. This didn't stop him from traveling around Europe. In fact, he visited Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, and the Netherlands, both as a royal messenger and as a pilgrim. This is going to inspire him for the Canterbury Tales, where Geoffrey Chaucer himself is one of the 30 pilgrims going from London to Canterbury. Then he got married and had 3 kids. He stayed in Italy for 10 years, first in Genoa for commercial reasons, and then in Milan for military reasons. Once he went back to England, he became the inspector of the London dock. Then he was elected as a member of Parliament. He became an MP, and he was elected in the county of Kent. Then his wife died, and his downfall started. He lost his powerful friends and got into economic trouble. He died in London on October the 25th, 1400. He is now buried at Westminster Abbey in the famous Poets' Corner. We can divide Geoffrey Chaucer's literary career into 3 main periods: the French period, the Italian period, and finally the English period. He started writing while he was in France. So the first works written by Geoffrey Chaucer were written during his French period, and they were inspired by the courtly love poetry. First, he translated the Roman de la Rose, which is the most perfect and well-known example of allegorical poem. Then he himself wrote an allegorical poem, which is the Book of the Duchess. When he moved to Italy and met Dante's, Petrarch's and Boccaccio's literary production, he kept on writing allegorical poems such as The House of Fame, which is a dreamlike journey
set in two temples, the temple of love, the temple of Venus, and the temple of fame. The themes we can find in this allegorical poem are the random and unfair distribution of celebrity, because he considers unfair how the god of fame distributes and gives celebrity to all the poets. And other themes are the classical myths taken from classical Greek and Latin literature, such as Dido and Aeneas. Another allegorical poem of this period is the Parliament of Fowls. What are fowls? Fowls are birds. They gather together to help a noble lady to decide which man she has to marry. There are three men who are proposing to her, and she has to decide what to do. The allegorical poem is set on a Valentine's Day, so the main theme is love. Another theme is loyalty, because there are some birds who suggest the lady to be a loyal wife, and others who tell her that it's not important to actually be honest to one's husband, and that she can have as many love affairs as she likes. But by far the most important literary work written during the Italian period is the non-allegorical poem Troilus and Cresside, based on the story of the unhappy love of the Trojan prince Troilus. The sources of inspiration for Geoffrey Chaucer in this case are Giovanni Boccaccio and his Filostrato, another story about an unhappy love, and Boethius' De Consolatione Philosophiae. The themes are the useless quest for earthly love, that is, it's useless to waste time looking for a human earthly love, because it will always end badly, unhappily, because of possible betrayals. And we can also find the psychological analysis of what happens when one is in love. Finally, and it's the most important message, divine love, the love for God, is the only one which is worth chasing. Human beings should concentrate on looking for God in their life and not for someone else, and not try to win somebody else's love, but only look for God.